All right, gentlemen. We have Big D here, and Ryback is in the house,
Yo,
What up? What up?
and we have a question from Fiend Fried Chicken.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. He asks, "Will CM Punk wrestle for anyone after AEW?" I think this is one of those big questions. What the fuck is going on with CM Punk? This motherfucker has made us talk about him, talk about AEW, has definitely taken some heat off of Triple H and his everything he's doing in WWE. You know, not heat, but attention. And yeah, so what do you guys think? Well, what's do you think CM Punk will actually first of all will he be back with AEW?
um, as of now, I think Ada it's been told that Ada was gonna buy out his contract, which is probably the best move because I don't think anyone wants to see CM Punk back in a ring. Period. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for everybody, but it's just all the stories breaking out, and now uh, I feel like Triple H from like 10 years ago was right. Like Vince McMahon was right about CM Punk this whole time. Kind of makes sense. After that whole storyline they had 10 years ago between CM Punk and Triple H, I think it's
Mhm.
kind of making sense now. And then a lot of guys coming out saying, yeah, CM Punk was a douchebag.
Mm.
Exactly.
So I don't see him wrestling ever again, to be honest. And
I
I
don't.
would care less if he ever did.
And if he did, like, that's a big risk on whoever would sign him or anything like that. Like, they would get that initial like all eyes on our company because he's there. But then that's just, I mean, that's just asking for like, you know, someone to destroy your company because I don't
Right.
know. Like that's just how I feel like he is. Like I mean, I am not one bit surprised any of this is happening. Um,
Well,
even when he first got there, I'm like, yeah, give it a year, and shit will hit the fan.
exactly. And he's
And
also injury prone, man. Both he wins the title twice and he gets hurt anyways. It's like, are you
yeah,
not like capable of taking care of yourself? You got guys like Sting who are 100 years old, and even Ric Flair, who did his last match recently, could still walk after the match, but CM Punk couldn't walk. Like, oh,
but
but
the one thing that never gets hurt is his mouth.
yeah, I
And
mean, I just feel like CM Punk should have been the better man, and he could have avoided this call, could have been avoided, but now he dug himself into a pile of shit, literally.
and he don't care. I mean,
I can't
I don't
help
know.
I can't help but think that this is a work, guys.
No, I don't think so.
See, like hear me out. Like I look at the attention that AEW has gotten since that scrum and the fact that it's been what? It's been 3 weeks now? A month?
Yeah, probably closer to a month, probably.
And they're still talking about it and there's a I it's like here's just hear me out and it's like I'm always thinking everything's a work. So let's just put that out. I think everything is a work. Because I look at the attention. You know, like attention on there's attention on AEW. There's not attention on CM Punk as much as there is attention on AEW. Okay, um, I feel like what if CM Punk realized that I'm getting hurt. This is not working out the best way that I thought it was gonna go. And there's one thing that CM Punk, or I think maybe Tony Khan said this. It was either Tony or CM Punk. But it was probably CM Punk talking about how old he was, like how he felt in the ring, like he's definitely older. And then we saw him sweat a lot more than he used to, and he was just trying to keep up with everyone versus what he used to be, 5 years ago, whatever. And I wonder if this was a way for CM Punk to be like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create all this controversy, all this bullshit, and get all eyes on AEW, get more attention on AEW, and then walk away. You know? But if they're not going to do that without controversy. So they raised a lot of controversy.
Well, you're making a valid point. I mean, it would make sense if something like that is true. I mean, you kind of made that all make sense, and I mean, I just don't understand why you would bring that, like, make yourself seem like the bad guy if that's the case. Like, I would never sell out unless CM Punk is doing it to get a bag and then sell out.
I mean, what's making him a bad guy really per se? He just called Adam Page basically a Hangman Page a bitch, and called some of those EVPs out. All of which have heat anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, say the three of us, for example, you know, we're doing this here. It wouldn't be cool if I'm just sitting here just like bashing on you guys every chance I got. It wouldn't be cool. It would bring the morale down, and then you guys would be like you guys would not be catching the vibe. The vibe wouldn't be there. You can't get along. It's a work environment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I always tell people this when I go to my job and stuff. It's like the number one thing for me is the work environment, the people I work with. If I can get along with these people and have fun, then it's gonna be the best job ever. I'm gonna enjoy going to work.
Mm.
Now, if you saw, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that whole Brody Lee package with Eddie Kingston in the back, and he was cutting this, like, I guess, like, not even a promo, but like he was just telling everybody in the back, like, that's how our show's supposed to be. Brody Lee would be proud of us, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you know, everyone was loving that, you know, that atmosphere and that environment, and everyone just, you know, enjoying it. But now with, like, now fast forward and you got CM Punk and all this other drama, it's bringing the morale down. And now you had leaders like Jericho and Punk and Bryan all having to step up to try and bring this morale back.
Mm-hmm.
So AEW doesn't go into like a little depressed shitbox.
Right.
Well, it's most likely not a work, but I keep thinking.
Oh no,
like,
it's not. It would be shit if it was.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely gotten them a lot of attention. So even if Punk went into business for himself, it still got him a lot of attention. I think the only thing that really bothered me with Punk was him taking over that conversation over Tony Khan. That to me was like, if I was the boss there, like, I just remember when Punk said that. If I was sitting there, man, and I'm not, like, Punk will probably kick my ass, but I'm not taking that shit sitting down. You know, like, I would definitely be like, all right, this is over. You know, stop now. You know, but I'm sure if he were to say anything, that probably could have been used in a lawsuit. I don't know. But the question is, ultimately, will CM Punk wrestle for anyone else again?
Nah, I don't think so.
What do you think, Ryback?
I mean,
No. Yeah, he's definitely not.
Were you gonna say something, Big D?
it's hard to say no. I don't think he's gonna wrestle for any major company, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some. I mean, I don't know, but we didn't really see him wrestle for anybody the previous whatever how many years it was. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna see him do anything.
So there's an assumption here too that the CM Punk is out of AEW.
Right.
Is he out of AEW?
Well, apparently,
Yeah.
nothing. I don't know if it's been official, but they're pretty much confirming that they're gonna buy out his contract. And once they do that, yeah, he's done.
Well, they don't see. That's what bothers me. Like, they don't have to buy out his contract. They should be able to let go without paying him.
No,
Well,
they
yeah,
signed the contract They
Yeah,
signed a
it's whatever
contract.
they,
But
yeah,
look
it's
what he
whatever they
did.
agreed to.
Did he
Well,
breach the contract?
it's whatever they agreed to before they signed it.
Hmm. He
It's
may
like
have breached the
if
contract. Yeah.
it's like you sign someone to a contract and you're making sure that they get full amount of what they're signing, and if you want to get rid of them before that, you got to buy out that contract.
Yeah, but this is like,
Otherwise, oh yeah, but then you're talking about getting into lawsuits and all
yeah,
that. And,
yeah. But that's. Do you think they're going there?
no,
Yeah.
they'll buy out his contract. It'll be okay. It'll be like a mutual thing, and then that'll be it.
Because if that's the case, if that's the way he goes, then he's truly a bitch. Like,
Yeah, well,
and I'll back that
I've told
up
you that before.
in
I
front of
told you
him.
that a long time ago when
Yeah.
when there was first rumors of him coming back. I'm like, I can't like that's why I really don't have much to say about him because I don't care about him at all. So
Well, this is second time. This is he has had a bad fallout with a big
yeah,
company, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Say
no, and
what you will, bro.
it's like what you said earlier to start off this conversation. Taking the heat off of Triple H or Vince McMahon or whatever.
Hmm.
But like it completely takes off everything that everyone was saying bad about WWE 10 years ago when the whole first thing with CM Punk was going down. And yeah,
Personally,
AEW, CM Punk's coming to AEW. That's so good for AEW. And then no,
man, his
it's
return
like
was awesome, man. Like that fucking pop.
yeah, yeah.
That was
The first that
incredible.
first that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I
Slowly just
personally, if I were Tony Khan, like I would totally use this angle. Like I would bring CM Punk back. He doesn't have to work with anyone else. Like I would work with CM Punk, and just play that whole angle as a little, like
yeah, but then you got
daddy's
you got
money.
you got all your other talent that's gonna be like, yeah, fuck you, we're out.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So speaking of talent, that's fuck you. We're out. What is going on with AEW? What is going on? They got Malachi Black. They released him. I'm sure there's some non-competes there. You said Ryback. You said Buddy Murphy's out too.
Yeah, that got reported today, and apparently there was what's today's date? The 25th. I think it was yesterday. He was at a house show
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, like an indie show,
Mm-hmm.
and said that House of Black is done, and he was stepping away for a very long time. So also meaning that, I mean, like this goes back to that CM Punk and the morale thing. It's like everyone's seeing like how AEW is kind of like falling apart in a way, and I don't want to see AEW fall apart. But now these guys are like, oh, Triple H is in charge of WWE. We want to go back there now. Like Malachi Black is going to go back.
I don't
It's
I
going to be confirmed,
yeah I don't
and I
like
can
that
see
part
what
of
what part.
the part of oh well Triple H is in charge now, so I want to leave here and go back. I don't like that.
Well, listen,
No,
I
but
understand. I
right,
understand,
right.
but because everyone loved Triple H's NXT, man.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it was almost like its own separate era of wrestling in a way. It was almost like the Attitude Era in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but it was its own era for the Black and Gold brand, and you had banger matches all the time.
Right,
Like,
right.
and it was great, man. And you had the FTR, you had Gargano and Champa, Andrade, like just all those insane matches they've had, dude. And now, you know, Triple H is doing some good shit. He brought back Gargano, Braun Strowman, uh, Killer Cross, dude. Like he's bringing back the guys that can draw, that are
Mm-hmm.
that are names, and that he knows they have potential and they are true talent. and Malachi Black will end up back in WWE, and I think Buddy Matthews will go back to WWE. They could be bringing House of Black to WWE in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
that'd be great.
It's shitty that like I get to where you're saying where it's like, oh, they're jumping back, they're going back to WWE now. You know, it's almost like going back to an ex-girlfriend after, such and such
After
and such
she had a
didn't work
boob job.
out. Yeah, I understand. I'm a huge AEW fan. I've been there. I've been there since day one, dude. I was actually at the AEW rally. I was hyped up for this new wrestling company, and I'm still am hyped up. I'm still a huge AEW fan. I give it shit because Tony Khan can sound like a damn coke addict, but dude, it's also wrestling, and I love wrestling, and we're not always gonna have the same opinions on stuff, and hopefully in about a year or so, AEW will be leveled out. The morale will be back to how it should be. WWE will be leveled out, and it's going to be very interesting to see between AEW and WWE and even all the other indie companies that it's like once everything starts settling in and people are going to be, now that Triple H is in charge of WWE and hopefully AEW can get their shit together, it's going to be very interesting to see where people end up across the board. Like not even just WWE and AEW, but all over the country and all the promotions.
Right. I think just to clear, like, what I don't like is I don't like people like getting out of their contracts for whatever reason, and then come to find out like 2 months later they're assigned somewhere else, and then they just jump ship like that. Like fulfill your, like if you're gonna sign a contract, fulfill your contract and then do that. Like I just don't agree with the whole opting out of your contract to just go somewhere else. Like it doesn't have to be them going to the WWE. It could be just them opting out, causing all this drama and then or whatever, and then
and speaking about contracts, and also another guy that's tied in with the whole CM Punk stuff is Bobby Fish.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to get Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to get out of their contracts to go back to WWE. Now, I'm a huge Bobby Fish fan. Like I love them all. It's kind of shitty that he did that. If it is true.
And then let alone he shows up on Impact.
Yeah, he shows up on Impact
at Victory Road and drops a freaking promo that was just indirectly all about CM Punk and yeah.
So there's really no such thing as bad press, huh? For AEW, this whole CM Punk situation.
No.
This is the most I've ever talked about CM Punk, and I'm about done.
Yeah. I mean, like, I honestly, after this, I'm hoping we only have to talk about him one more time, and that will be, like, some of their dumb bullshit. And like, right now, we're done. Like, the news broke out that he won't be coming back, and it's over with. We can talk about the other great talent that's out there.
Does he
go ahead, Big D.
Did he go in ROH's Hall of Fame last year?
Punk?
No.
Yeah, no. Okay. Does he go in the Hall of Fames, or do you think
No.
like this situation is going to cause a lot of like that much of a controversy?
I think there's room for CM Punk in a Hall of Fame. Like CM Punk, his pipe bomb on WWE and even AEW, he's going to be known for 2 pipe bombs now. And I think, say what you will about CM Punk, he knew how to get attention, even if it was because of his bullshit. So he kind of elevated himself.
CM Punk did get inducted in the Hall of Fame. I didn't mean to cut you off, but he did get inducted into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
Okay. I thought so. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's what's interesting to me wasn't Bobby Fish the one who wanted to fight CM Punk?
Yes, I think Bobby Fish can kick his ass. Frankly.
Well, there you go. I mean, there's like even if these guys are pissed off about CM Punk, they're still putting more attention onto CM Punk, which inherently puts more attention onto AEW. So, despite all of this being a problem for AEW, like
It's still a mark.
it's like it's really hard not to sit here and just even have a little iota of like this might be a work. This might be a work, or maybe just inadvertent work, which is not basically it's
Right.
a shoot, but
Right. Because any press is good press.
yeah, for AEW, man,
Which
AEW has really like, and with the return of MJF, AEW has definitely elevated their viewership. And of course, MJF is just in a different stratosphere. Um,
Oh, for sure.
and so I think that between Punk and MJF returning, I mean, hard to tell, but it's like everybody's still talking about Punk. It's been a couple of weeks now. They're still talking about, but when they talk about Punk, they're talking about AEW. So AEW has been elevated by this whole bullshit. And so like we can be mad at Punk. Like I really kind of like I don't know
we're
Punk
we're
personally, so I
we're
don't
we're
know.
elevating AEW right now.
Yes, we are, and we should. We should. I have more compassion for Tony Khan. I see so many different opportunities that can happen, that can come out of this. And if I were Tony Khan, I would totally be like, all right, I gotta create a whole angle between me and CM Punk. Forget everyone else. This is gonna be just a battle between me and CM Punk because CM Punk is on hook for I don't know how many years, 4 years, whatever, however many years he's on hook for. I don't. Basically, the angle is already written. I don't want to pay him out. I don't want to pay his contract so he would leave. And CM Punk doesn't want to just quit because he's owed money. And so now we have this kind of like uh, uh, Vince McMahon Stone Cold kind of dynamic, you know? Even though it's like people actually probably be on Tony Khan's side. And Tony Khan can get other people to fucking do his bidding, you know? It's like, I don't know if Punk would work with that, but that would just be perfect. And then, of course, I would leave whatever. What's AEW's WrestleMania? Do they have a WrestleMania?
I think it's Double or Nothing
Okay.
or All Out. I don't know which one it is, but it's one or the other.
Well, whatever they've deemed their biggest pay per view is, that's where I would leave for CM Punk versus Adam Page. And granted, I would have to say that CM Punk had a point. He had a point with Adam Page, saying that he doesn't take any advice from any of the old wrestlers, people who have been around the block a few times. I think calling him out on that, the way he did it was fucking ridiculous. But calling him out on that, I think, is legit because that really kind of like it reaffirms some things that I thought about some of the newer wrestlers. Like for me, they can't get over for certain reasons. And Adam Hangman Page, I watched his matches and I don't understand what the big deal is about Page. And the fact that he said that and me understanding that CM Punk can definitely have a much better match as far as I'm concerned than Adam Page could ever have a good match. Well, I don't want to say that he might get better. I don't know, but it's just it's my own feelings. It's how I view the sport, And so I feel like him calling Adam Page out for saying like I don't take advice, like, okay, bro. Like I feel like Adam Page just said that without really thinking. Just kind of talking, whatever, how cool he is and some shit. And really, I'm sure he's kicking himself for saying that. I'm pretty fucking sure he's kicking himself for saying that because that's just a stupid thing to say. What do you mean? It's like, I don't go to school because everything I want to learn, I learn from on the street. It's like, well, you're not going to fucking learn physics on the street. Shit like that. And so it was just a very stupid thing to say. And the way CM Punk called them out was fucking bullshit unless they're going to fight. And so I don't like how he did that. Like, but they can use that. They can actually have a match and CM Punk can put Hangman Page over. They can turn it into a trilogy where finally CM Punk wins twice and finally Hangman Page wins the last time. You know, some shit like that. Like they could easily do some angles out of this, but considering like what's happening with legally with AEW, at least what I'm hearing is that this is really a situation that CM Punk kind of fucked up.
Yeah, you're right. No, it is.
Yeah. Well, I hope that answers Fiend fried chicken.
Fiend fried chicken.
Fiend fried, yeah, licking good, finger licking good. So will CM Punk wrestle for anyone after AEW? Big D says no. Ryback says no. Max Joss says, who gives a fuck?
That's a work.
It's a work, motherfucker.
It's a work. All right. Well, I hope that that answers your question, Fiend Fried Chicken. And you better check us out at jawbers.com. That is JAWBERS.com, and get yourself a hoodie, a shirt, get yourself some clothes because you look goofy naked. This has been Max Jaw with Mr. Big D, and Ryback wins flawless victory.